Damage control.
Welcome back to Damage Control MMA, guys. This week we want to share a basic drill. Well, the moves are basic. The drill is a little much at first, but it's a drill that's made up of 2 moves. So rather than try to sit here and explain it, we'll just show it. But it's a drill to teach you the sit out, and not just the sit out. But the sit out itself is relatively simple, but the timing of it is where I see most students fall short a little bit. They wait too long before they start their sit out, and then it doesn't work well for them. The sit out for me is more of an escape for, let's say you're getting drugged into your jail cell. The sit out is you make a break for it. You bolt but as the door is closing, but it hasn't closed up yet. Once that jail cell closes, you can try to bolt as much as you can, as much as you want, but you're going to run into that locked door. So the idea of this drill is to teach you to move and bolt right before that door closes. So let's get started. Let's talk about the sit out, and this is the way we usually teach it. We'll start with ourselves on our hands and on our elbows and our knees. And the purpose of this is just to show you where you want to be. You want to work from this position, or even a total turtle, okay, up to your hands and your knees. Once you get from your hands and your knees, then you want to work up to your hands and your feet. What this does is it allows you to get the maximum weight drop, or level change, and therefore weight drop for your sit out. And this is what's referred to as a short sit out as opposed to a long sit out. And in fact, the long sit out to me is more of a layout. You're more laying down as opposed to sitting. Whereas in the sitting, you're trying to keep your spine at about a 90-degree angle, completely perpendicular to the floor here. So, just to show you how we like to drill it at a very basic level, okay, maybe even starting from here, okay, up to our hands. If you're in catch, make sure you hide your fingers. Okay, you're right here. From here, up to your feet. Now, let's say I'm going to sit out toward my right. I want to bring my left hand to the center. Okay, now, I turn my knees and I sit. What this arm does kind of depends on where the guy is on me, and we'll explain that later. For right now, I'm just going to elbow back. Then I'm going to come back here. This hand will go to the center, and I sit and I drop my weight down. Now, when you guys are drilling this, one way to know whether or not you're sitting too far away from yourself, you always want to try to keep your hips underneath your head, is then you're going to start being here and sitting, 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 quickly. If you go too far, it's going to take you a long time to get back, and it's going to feel really sloppy. So you want to keep it tight, and you just want that level drop. The idea is that guy's holding on to you, and you're trying to make him catch, depending on your weight, for me it's 145, 150, you're trying to make that guy catch 150 pounds of dropping weight out of nowhere. And that's where you're going to break grips and start to make your escape. Now, that's the basic sit-out. From here, I want to talk about 2 types of sit-outs that we're going to use in this drill. I don't know the fancy names, so I made up my own. One's, I call it an S-turn or a 180, and the other one's a 360. So, the S-turn. What I'm going to do is I'm here, I come up, sit, and then I'm going to kick this leg around, and I'm going to face, if you can see, that's the first part of my S, and then I'm going to come back around, and I'm going to face in a 180 here, okay? Now the next time I go up, sit, and come around. Up, sit, come around, up, sit, and come around. So that's going to be your S turn, okay, or your 180, facing the opposite direction. The second one is the 360, and I'm going to be here, up, I'm going to sit, I'm going to roll from butt cheek to butt cheek, and I'm just going to face the same way. My body's going to do like a barrel roll type of thing. At the same time, this high shoulder is going to roll to the mat in order to kind of accelerate my turn. So I'm like this, I roll on that shoulder and I come right back up. I'm here, I come up, I sit, the shoulder's going to come back, I'm going to roll on my shoulders and come back up. Okay, so I'm right here, sit, roll on my shoulders, come up, sit, roll on my shoulders and come up. And those are the two types of sit-outs that we're going to use in our drill today. All right, so now we're going to put those two together in a sequence of five counts, and it'll become a circular drill. Now, what's there to learn? The biggest thing is, well, there's a lot actually. When to use which sit-out and the timing of when to sit out. The first couple times we're going to go through this, it's going to be slow, and we're going to work with each other. But ultimately, the idea is to start your sit-out before the guy completely gets into position. So we're going to start where I've got coach in a double overhook situation. This doesn't happen too much with better players because it's a lot easier to defeat this. But sometimes this guy gets a great shot in, and this was the best I could do to stop a sprawl, to stop a shot before I was able to transfer. So what coach wants to do is he wants to get up onto his feet. Now he's going to put a hand in the middle. Let's have you put, yeah, perfect. If you put your right hand in the middle, he's going to sit down and look up and elbow back hard. Now let's come back. Make sure when you guys are doing all of these sit-outs that in your initial sit, you're only on one butt cheek. And in fact, the majority of your weight should be on one femur, from your knee to your butt cheek. Both butt cheeks should not be on the mat. That happens after your sit, and then you can rotate if you're going for your 360. Another thing is in this case, because my weight is right here on the top of Kaiser, when he sits, he elbows back to try to knock my weight off of off the middle of his back. That's what this elbow is going to do. So right here, he comes up onto his feet, he centers, he gets his head off to the side. That's another good detail to learn. And then he sits and elbows back, pop. He's going to S-turn and go behind me. So number one is an S-turn, and he gets behind me. Get a 180, he's behind me now. I've got to escape now. Number two is a 360. And I'll probably be best if you come around this way with that camera. A little bit more. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up, I'm going to sit, and you're going to come around this way a little bit more. And all I'm going to do is 360 and go to his back. Now sometimes, if you're a little bit longer, sometimes as you're doing this, this arm can go underneath, and you'll work what's called a switch. And as I go here, you can see I'm straightening his arm, and I'm almost arm barring him, and it makes him eat the dirt. That speeds my ability to turn and take his hip and get here. I don't always need that though, and in fact with shorter arms, sometimes I'm not able to get there. So if you wouldn't mind just staying right here, we're going to show you number two. It's number two count. Coach is in the quarter, I come up, I sit, and I just rotate around and get to his hip. Number three is another S-turn. He sits, he's going to S-turn and come around in front, and he's going to be over the top of me. And this time he's going to do an over and an under. This one's over, this one's under. Now a lot of times from here, you're going to have guys going for Darces, you're going to have guys going for Anacondas, you're going to have guys going for Schultz headlocks. There's a lot of pressure a lot of times on this overhook side. Coach, can you get more of a front headlock? Wrestler's front headlock? See how he's going to, yeah, right there. Now see, that prevents me from going that side, which is the side I'd usually want to go to. But what that does is that pressure's pulling me this way. So if you want to come around the other side now, this is going to be a bugger for our filmographer or cameraman because the angle switched so much. But I want to go that way, but Kaiser's almost forcing me this way with this pressure. So this hand's going to go to the middle. You can see how he's practically pulling me across. Come up off of my knees. I sit. I'm going to hold this elbow here, okay? And I'm going to 360 again. Like this, I come over on top, I've got him now, and I'm going to give him a little bit of pressure on this overhook side to help give the right energy and to kind of help him learn which way to go. And it's always away from the pressure. He's going to sit, he's going to 360, that's number 5, and we've started again at count 1. This time, Coach Kaiser is on top. If you remember all the way back at count 1, the first time I was on top. So from here, count 1 is an S-turn. Count 2 is a 360. Count 3 is an S-turn. Count 4 is a 360. Count 5 is a 360. And we start again at count 1 with me on top with the double overhook. So, 5 counts. 1 is an S turn, 2 is a 360, 3 is an S turn, 4 is a 360, and 5 is a 360. You start with an S turn, you alternate, and your last 2 are 360s. Right? Easy enough. S turn 360, S turn 360, 360, start over. Got it? Now that we've chopped it, I'm not going to explain it. This time what we're trying to, what I want you to see is the timing of our escape. To make it easy for you to see and to understand the counts, we chopped it. 1, wait, let the guy get in position. 2, wait, let the guy get into position. But really, that's not, the whole purpose of this drill is to teach you to not wait, to teach you to escape as the guy's moving to flank you. So now we're going to take the explanation out, and we're just going to go at a relatively slower pace, but the idea is to move before the other guy gets locked in. So we just went through 2 revolutions. Now, do you want to do that all the time? That's up to you. If you guys like that drill and you keep hitting it, fantastic. But the point is more about understanding how and when to use the different techniques based on energy and also timing, like not waiting for the guy to set up before you start your sit-out. So we're going to go watch, if you want to see here now, like the point is to get to a situation where it's unscripted and you're free-flowing. And if you kind of break apart, so what? Just start the drill over again and keep going. So we're unscripted now, and we're right here. And just to make it easy, we're going to start from the double over, and Coach Kaiser goes. Well, let's say I do an S turn instead, and we break. Who cares, right? Or he goes, and he does the 360 again. And I do another one. And we're just learning how to play. That's right. We're just learning how to play and time that sit-out drill. It looks pretty complex, and I'm sure you guys will have to spend a little bit of time to work on that one, but if you put the time in, it'll be worth your while. You're going to find yourself sitting out of bad situations before they happen the next time you get on the mat. Thanks for joining us this week on DamageControlMMA.com.